So, this is not going to be a fun recap at all. There are only like two things that were good about this game. One was, of course, the Jeff Tedford halftime ceremony. I already posted that. And also, if you want the first 3,000 people, you got this really fun towel. See this? It's got a good classic Bulldog Sailor Cap logo. That's pretty rare. Only 3,000 people. The first 3,000 got in the stadium got one. So that was nice. They also sold limited edition cups that were like $50. Really kind of a ripoff. But, and the crowd. The crowd was like 41,500 plus, so we can drop the whole, people won't show up for the afternoon game. No, we had a sellout crowd, or just about, right about there, more or less. Just didn't have much to cheer about, but we found out that people in Fresno will show up at 12:30. All right, we will show up at 12:30. And, but beyond that, there was really nothing good about this game. I mean, when you read those whole statistics, and I'll run through them here, I mean, yeah, it says everything you need to know. I mean, Fresno State was dominated every facet of the game. San Diego State had 21 first downs, Bulldogs had 14. Total yards, 332 for the Aztecs. Bulldogs had like 225, more or less. Rushing was dominated by San Diego State, 208 yards. Bulldogs had less than 50. Passing yards, Bulldogs had 182. San Diego State had 124. I mean, what more needs to be said? I mean, the quarterback, we held him in check. If you look at the stats, Dingo was 11 of 19, 124 yards and INT, but they didn't need to pass the ball. They just dominated up front. I mean, San Diego State just beat us down offensively. I mean, there's nobody else to do it. That offensive line was just bigger, stronger than what Fresno State had on the defensive line. And Thunderbird was out for the game. He's out for the year, but I'm really not sure how much difference he would have made. The defense only gave up 16 points. So, I mean, when you only give up 16 points, what more can you do? I mean, yeah, sure, okay, yeah, the DB Fresno State, I think it was Emmett or something, yeah. He dropped an INT, that would have returned for a touchdown. Okay, that would have been 6-7 points, but, okay, so the score would have been 23-7, really wouldn't change much because the Bulldogs could not do anything offensively. Coughlin had 2 interceptions, but one of them was just, kind of like, okay, game was already over at that point anyway. I actually thought he didn't play poorly. I actually would blame the play calling. I would blame the offensive line. I would blame drop passes from wide receivers much more than I would blame Coughlin. And I'm pretty sure he's going to be the starter the rest of the year. You don't make a switch like that and go back and forth. And I think the coaching staff made the move because they saw what I and other Bulldog fans saw, which was that teams just did not respect the passing. And I think Coughlin showed a bit more already in one start, even though statistically he wasn't that good, than Warner ever did. I think there was an extra element of just completion. I mean, pass potential to deep threat was a bit more there than what you got from E.J. Warner. And I listened to the game on radio on the games. I have a little radio set I bring there, and they kind of said that the receivers were not used to being thrown balls like Coughlin was, and they tried to pass it off saying, oh, it was repetition and so forth. They just weren't used to a guy throwing darts like Coughlin. I mean, that's just the bottom line. I think that would excuse some of the drops. Still need to catch him. Still inexcusable, but I think Coughlin will look better as this year goes on. And what are you doing in Fresno State? Well, if you run the table the rest of the way, you do have a chance to play in the conference title game if San Diego State beats Boise State, which I think they will. I think San Diego State is the best team in the conference. But is that likely? Not what we've seen so far this year. But if they do beat Boise State, the schedule is lighter if they can beat Boise State. Boise State certainly isn't a juggernaut this season. I think the defense will play well. I mean, if they play like they did against San Diego State, I think that they will give themselves a chance. And I've seen some people who complain about the running back, so you need to stick with running back like the Bulldog, like the Aztecs had Lucky Sutton in. I didn't hear that at the start of the year. I think I'm fine with how we're using the running backs. It's just teams are stacking the box. They're just not afraid to pass the game. And in the case of San Diego State, their defense just overwhelmed whatever we wanted to do. Now maybe if we complete the passes early and get a score on that first drive, maybe it's different. Maybe the offense is more maybe it's more comfortable. But I I think once teams fear Conklin, they will back off, and the running game will get back again. All right? Because that's really why this coaching move was made. I know Enzo talked about turnovers. He talked about his post-game presser about wanting to get a spark of leadership. But to me, it was just Enzo seeing that teams are not going to leave him alone, Conklin alone. And he wants to create something positive in his first season, and that just wasn't really going to happen with Warner. Right now, I had this team go 8-4 in the year. That's still a very good possibility. They can get 8 wins. I've seen some bold projections. Still have them playing a Power 5 team like Duke in the First Responders Bowl in one projection, Houston in another one. So again, even if you don't win a conference title, if you get 8 wins and a win over a P4 team like a Duke, that would be a successful first season for most Bulldog fans. I mean, and understand he has to win. Classy's made it clear that his goal is to win championships in all the sports. He made a lot of moves. Ants is his hire, so he's going to have time to, build what he wants to build. All right, I'm sure he's been going out in the community to do what he needs to do. But the bottom line is this is a win this has to be the low point of the season. Bottom line, if you recover next week and beat Boise State, Bulldog fans will take that and say, okay, might not win the conference championship, but we got to a bowl, we beat it, Boise, we'll take that for a first one from a coach. And we'll find out what this program is made of. But right now, they're in a 2-game slump, and they just got their ass kicked. It is what it is. It happens in sports. Congrats to San Diego State. We get a chance at them next year, probably at their place. We're Bulldog fans, will make an impact, because San Diego State fans, let me tell you, there were a few of them at the game, but they're not like Bulldog fans on the road, right? But, this just might be their year. They haven't had one in a while. And, our team's going to win. Our conference going to win. We move on to Fresno State, try and win next game and see what happens. We're moving forward with Conklin. Hopefully, I think he did enough for Boise to at least think, okay, Fresno might be able to throw the ball deep this time. They weren't able to do it with EJ. So, we'll see what it looks like against Boise. And then we have our last bye week. But for now, just a rough game. And also I want to remind you guys before I end this video, this time next week, Bulldogs are playing a game against the first basketball game of the year, home against Fresno Pacific. I'll probably save to do the recap of Boise and that one combined. So don't worry if I don't post anytime soon. But yeah, it might be a dry season for championships until the spring starts, until we get water polo and bat and ball sports going. Because unless basketball surprises us and football has a great run and some help, not going to get a conference championship here for a while. That's not how you want to win the pack, go in the pack, but it is what it is. But what can you do? All right. So see what happens next. We get Boise. For now, go Dogs.